Hey everyone, and welcome back to Zero Escape 999, where last time Lotus angered the Funya Rinpa, and I believe she is going to hell now. But in all seriousness, we made our way through the second class cabin with June, Santa, and Lotus. We found a bookmark, we discussed morphogenetic fields, and we discussed the curse of a mummy, Amun-Ra, here on the original Titanic, and how this may be a replica of it. Was it Amun-Ra who had the curse? I believe I have the name right. Apologies if I don't. So, now that we are through into the next area, I want to look at the map. Listen, you knew it was coming. You know I love this map. Okay, so we took the number 4 door, which is the top hallway going long way to the left, and we ended up in the second class cabin. Once we come out of here, we're going to be in the middle hallway on the other side of the gate that we saw when we first went through door number 5. So the other group's going to be heading down to here, the casino, and we're heading to that room on the top left. They step through the door to find themselves in a wide hallway. Junpei, June, Lotus, and Santa stopped for a moment and looked at their surroundings. A short distance away, a metal grate extended across the width of the hallway. They took hold and shook, but it refused to move. Nearby was a pair of elevators. It took only a few button presses to determine that the elevators would not respond to their efforts. They could only assume that the elevators were not powered. There is only one door left. Well, looks like we don't have any choice. Yeah, sure does. Well then, let's open it. Junpei grabbed hold of the knob and quietly pushed the door open. He entered slowly, trying to take in as much of his surroundings as he could. The others followed shortly. So when we were in the captain's quarters, one of the monitors, I thought it was showing a room we hadn't been to yet, but it was actually one of the staircases in the grand hallway, in the main hallway. I thought it was this room, and yeah, it definitely looks more like the grand staircase now, but the images were so small, it's not hard to see why I thought that, especially once we have a better look at this room. The others followed shortly. Oh, so it's a kitchen. Santa did not look pleased. What were you expecting? Isn't it obvious? The exit. It's not going to be that easy, Santa. I was hoping this would be the way out of here. Heh, you really think it'd be that easy? Yeah, I know, still. As they talked, Lotus headed deeper into the room. Until at last she stood in front of a door. If we can just get through this door, we should come out on the other side of that grate we saw earlier. But don't we need a key for that? Sorry, I guess I wasn't very constructive. Neither Junpei nor Lotus looked terribly happy. Junpei dug the ship map from his pocket and spread it out in front of him. As he did... Hey! What's that? Huh? Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot to tell you. I found this a little while ago. It's a map of the B deck. Before Junpei could finish, Lotus snatched the map away from him. She ran her finger across it, muttering to herself. I knew it. See? Look! Junpei did as he was told. Santa and June moved over to look at the map as well. See? We came in here. If we go out there, then we'll be on the other side of the grate. With her finger, Lotus traced a path on the map. She was right. Satisfied that she'd been correct, Lotus folded the map and handed it back to Junpei. He took it and slid the valuable piece of paper back into his pocket. There's a card reader on the right side of the door. Then that means the key card is somewhere in here, right? That seems the most likely. Alright, we know what we need to do then. Let's get moving. First off, I say we split up and look for clues. Okay. Alright, our second escape room for door 4, the kitchen. But yeah, I kind of thought it was, if you look at the map on the top, I kind of thought it was like looking down the hallway that's kind of like on the bottom half of the room where the camera's facing right now. One down, there's the little hallway on the bottom side of the white tables. I kind of thought it was the camera looking down that way. Or maybe looking down the hall where we are in right now that goes all the way along the top side. Anyways, let's get started. We've got a piece of paper here, a voucher. It says, appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F. Ah, here we go with the hexadecimal, I'm betting. Okay. Appetizer 9, meat 10, so that would be 16. Soup A is actually 10, and seafood F or 15. Okay, and then we have these 9 plates. Look pretty expensive. They're plates for appetizers. Remember, appetizers usually come on square plates. Okay, well, excuse me, princess. I have that entire series on DVD. I need to get more friends to watch it. I need to get more friends to suffer through it with me. Okay, so appetizer 9 is square. Next up we have 1, 2, 3, there's 10 of them. 10, that would be A, so that would be soup. If you flip these over, they look like hats. The middle is super deep for a plate. That's because it's a bowl, Junpei. They're soup plates. They are made that way so the soup doesn't spill. If we ever get out of here, you should treat yourself to a nice dinner out, because apparently you've never had soup before. What makes you think a poor college student has the money to do something like that, like eating food? Okay, next up we've got... I think there are 15 of these plates. Okay, so that would be seafood then. I'm assuming they're there for seafood. How the hell can you tell that? They look just like any other plate from the 99-cent store. If you ever take a lady out to dinner, you're gonna embarrass yourself. I feel sorry for June. What? Why the hell are you bringing up June? The lady doth protest too much, methinks. You are not very terribly subtle. Yeah, neither Junpei nor June are. Okay, so these plates are probably telling us the key that this is hexadecimal. There's a bunch of little wavy ridges on this plate. Those plates are for serving meat. You really are ignorant, aren't you? Come on, it's not like I need to know this crap. Jeez. Okay, so yeah, these are probably just telling us the key that this is hexadecimal, since you can match the number of plates to the voucher. Okay, over here, wow, this pot looks like it's made out of silver. I bet drinking tea from this pot would be really yummy. Spending a day off with June drinking tea. Could such a day ever happen for me? Junpei? Oh, nothing. We don't really need hot water, so we should be moving on. Junpei, you really don't realize your own feelings, much less hers. We got a sink here. A sink. It's still got water in it. There are a couple of plates in there, but I don't think they're gonna help us much. Lovely. We got this. A whetstone. Interesting. And we got a bunch of plates on the table. Maybe this table is for preparing food? There are plates everywhere. Would make sense. What else do we got? Oh, a countertop. There are a rolling pin and a colander here. Nothing useful. I don't know, I kinda wanna grab that rolling pin. Come on. You're not gonna let me grab it. A trash can. There's nothing inside of it. Well, better than being full of rotten food, I guess. Or I suppose. No kidding. How about the other trash can? Damn it, there's nothing in here. Hey Santa, digging through the trash really suits you. What the hell did you say? Listen lady, I did you a favor. I knew you just piss and moan, so I did it for you. Oh my. I don't recall asking you to do anything. I had to throttle you. Squeeze me. Does it feel colder in here? Why is everyone like this? Okay, over here we've got... all we've got here is a pot and a frying pan. Oh, and a pressure cooker. I guess we could use some of those as weapons. What kind of idiot are you? You're gonna run around holding that thing while you're looking for the dead? Hey man, it was just a joke. Why so serious? This game came out before the Boston Marathon bombing, right? That was in the 2010s. This was like 2009. I forget, that was a long time ago. Oh, but pressure cooker followed by we can use this as a weapon, kinda... I still got bad memories of that. Okay, so this is going to be for putting in a code towards the end. And I guess next up we have... let's see. On the map, we're looking up. And I remember there were... These two rooms, I believe, were storage. Or at least didn't go anywhere, so I'm assuming they're storage. This is the door we came in through. Oh! Then the map's lying. It's not locked, so we could go back out, but... What's the point, right? All that's out there is an iron gate and a dead-end hallway. Yep. Might as well be locked for all the good going back out there to do. Okay, well then I guess the map in here is lying. How am I gonna pull that full map up? Because... No, I guess this room's just kind of rotated, or this map's just kind of rotated maybe to fit on the screen better? Huh. Okay, well, then I guess over here are the two storage rooms it looked like. Let's try the right one first. We got cheese wheels! So many cheese wheels. Hey, there's something behind the cheese. You're right. Why don't we move some of the cheese? Alright guys, time to move it. June and I need to look behind you. And there's a little green bottle back there. What is in this bottle? We got a bottle of oil. Alright, that's possibly going to be helpful. We're in a kitchen, so I guess the theming works. Over here we've got... What do you have there? A knife! No! God, sorry, I really wanted to put that joke in the title of the last episode of the knife ending, but I couldn't figure out how to make it work. A rusty knife. I don't think we'll be able to use it while it's like this. The knife seemed important, Junpei thought, but it wasn't going to be much use the way it was. It's futile. Futile? You know, a waste, useless, pointless. Oh, any particular reason you wanted to bring that up? Oh, no reason really. I was just thinking about futility. She wasn't making much sense. Junpei tried rephrasing the question. Why were you thinking about futility? At last she answered. Well, it has something to do with the Titanic. Oh, this again. The Titanic. Yep. Have you ever heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted? No I haven't. Tell me more. What is it? In 1892, 14 years before the Titanic sank, a novel was published. It was called Futility. It was written by an American novelist named Morgan Robertson. The story was about a big cruise ship colliding with an iceberg and sinking. Of course, if that was the only similarity, there wouldn't be any reason to mention it. It wasn't though. The name of the ship, its nationality, course, departure time, size, displacement, maximum speed, number of passengers and crew, the number of lifeboats, even the location of the accident itself and the cause and the location of the damage. Everything matches the Titanic almost exactly. It was almost as if he'd seen the whole thing happen. But this book was written 14 years before the Titanic sank. That's freaky. But that's not all. It wasn't just Futility that predicted the sinking of the Titanic. There were two other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead, both of them before the accident. One in 1886 and one in 1892. Stead wrote two stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, two ships collided and many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank. Okay, so that's two different halves of Titanic, but those two stories seem more coincidental. But you said there was the other story where he did predict it. I don't know. I mean, I'll give you that it seems a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too uncommon for ships to hit icebergs back in the day, or even other ships. Right. I knew you'd say that. Huh? But what if Stead had some sort of special powers? To be more specific, what if he had the ability to do automatic writing? What? Automatic writing? Wait, are you talking about that thing where someone says they're possessed by a spirit, and then they write a bunch of stuff without knowing what they're writing? Yes. What do you mean yes? That stuff's a load of bull. But Junpei, you said you believe in curses. Come on, that's totally different. Okay, so let's say, hypothetically, that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic. When this dead dude wrote his thing, nobody had died on the Titanic yet. So if automatic writing is about being possessed by spirits of dead people, who the hell possessed him so that he could write that stuff? That's not it. What's not it? Stead wasn't possessed by a spirit. He was doing the possessing. I'm sorry, what? Explain that. What are you smoking? William Thomas Stead was a passenger on the Titanic. He just wrote down what he saw with his own eyes, 20 years before it happened. That's a disturbing theory. Or it could just be a tragic coincidence? He decided it was probably best to say nothing. What June was saying was insane and utterly absurd. If he tried to take what she was saying seriously, he'd go mad. Junpei smiled uncomfortably. Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay? Huh? But... Her voice trailed off and she glanced at the floor, troubled. Junpei tapped June gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around her to pick up the knife from the box. That was a disturbing story indeed. Okay, we've got oil whetstone knife. Can we just maybe use the whetstone to sharpen the knife? I can do that right away. I don't need the oil to like lubricate it or anything. The blade of the knife is getting sharper by the second. I should be able to cut something pretty good with this. Okay, we've got a knife. I guess we didn't need the oil for that. Wonder what the oil's gonna be for then. Okay, out of here and into the next room. A door. There's a bolt keeping us from opening it. Well, that's just rude. The bolt is rusted in place. It won't budge. There we go. That's where we use the oil. Of course, maybe if I put some oil on it. Hey! Just a little bit of oil, Anne. Come on. Come on, you little son of a bitch. Whoa! Ha, yes, gotcha, you little bastard. You did it, Junpei. You're so smart. You know how to lubricate things. That's good. Oh god, I'm not gonna continue with that. That could get, yeah, no, June's probably excited about that. As Junpei walked into the room, a blast of cold air washed over him. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tight across his chest, doing what he could to conserve body heat. Ugh, it's cold in here. What is this place? Are you blind? It's a freezer! Sansa's teeth had already begun to chatter. Hardly surprising, the freezer was far too cold for someone dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was in an even worse situation. Oh, no way! That's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm gonna leave the rest to you. And with that, she ran out of the room. As Lotus left, June came in. Whoa, it's really cold in here. White puffs of steam hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to shiver. Hey, you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this. No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now. But June, this could actually make you sicker. I'm kind of on Junpei's side with this. Junpei had scarcely opened his mouth when the thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang out from behind them. In unison, they spun around to find that the door they had only recently come through was closed. Uh-oh. Junpei rushed to the door. Desperately, he grabbed hold of the doorknob. Ow! It was cold, beyond cold. Merely touching it was painful. The doorknob had been frozen solid. They quickly deduced that the pipe next to the door had ruptured. Water released by the rupture had hit the door and frozen instantly. Sansa shoved Junpei aside and pounded against the door. This is bad. Oh, this is really bad. Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door! She wasted no time in responding. What do you want? What's going on? The door won't open. Try opening it from that side. Sansa, the door is frozen shut. Do you really think? Please! Fine. If you say so. Hold on. Soon they could hear Lotus on the other side of the door. Then the grunting ceased and they could hear light panting as if from exertion. It's no use. It won't budge. You've got more people in there. You figure it out. Oh, this sucks. God damn it. Sansa was shaking like a newborn deer. June was hugging herself and shivering violently. Even Junpei, with the heaviest clothes of any of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their bodies. Anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents. 2 heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out. Yeah, you're right. Let's just take a good look around this room, okay? Right. They pushed in close to one another and began to search. This is bad. Okay, let's see. There's a hatch on the floor. What do we got in here? There's so much stuff in here. Why don't we take some of it out, Junpei? Yeah, we've got... There are a couple bottles in here. I want that bottle. Got a water bottle. Can I grab this? A sturdy rope. And nothing else that looks useful. Got it. Okay, how about this? We have dry ice. Ooh. Junpei picked up the dry ice with his sleeve so as to avoid burning himself. Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right? Yeah, it is. I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again. Hell if I know. How's that gonna help us anyway? Oh, well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here. They were about to move on when June spoke up. Carbon dioxide sublimation point is on negative 109 degrees. How do you know that so specifically? Also Celsius, right? I'm checking. Any warmer than that, it'll turn into a gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid. Junpei looked at her dumbfounded. How do you know that? Despite my looks, I'm the queen of random knowledge. Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off. Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb. Yeah, that's why. You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you? June giggled, who did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was still feeling good enough to joke around, Junpei told himself. Come on, guys, don't you think that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first. Santa was now shivering at an astounding rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei, however, was not in a mood to discuss science. You want to listen. It did strike Junpei as rather odd. It did seem rather odd to Junpei, and he couldn't help but think about it. June answered, but it can turn into a liquid. Carbon dioxide turns into a liquid if you put it under high enough pressure. But at 1 atmosphere normal air pressure, it won't turn into a liquid, right? That's right. Instead of melting, it'll do what's called sublimating and change immediately from a solid state to a gaseous one. See, that is weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees. Okay, I guess we're in Fahrenheit then. So why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide? June replied with an answer that stunned both of them. There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees. Huh? I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees. Excuse me? Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees. You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees? Yeah. Well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. Water that freezes at 96 degrees. Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. Junpei was cold as hell, but this was too interesting to ignore. He did his best to warm up by rubbing his arms and stamping his feet, then put the question to June. So what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called? I heard it's called Ice-9. Ice-9. Originally, Ice-9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists. Also, I absolutely love this song. Some people in the community, myself included, have dubbed this song the theme of autistic info dumping because that's what it always plays, and it is fantastic. There are people who have made fake 999 conversations with this song playing. That's just random bullshit. June spouting off nonsense, and then Junpei being like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a fantastic meme. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists. Wait, hold up. So, is this thing called Ice-9? Or is it water? Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O. Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and structure are completely different. So you're saying normal water and this Ice-9 are like that? Yep. she wasn't finished. Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin? For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it, and did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin that was en route to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Naturally, scientists worldwide wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin, and began asking for samples of the seed. A seed is, of course, a sample of the original crystallized substance. With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be a simple matter. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize, nearby samples did as well. It didn't end there. After that day, all glycerin in the world began to crystallize naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Does this story sound familiar? Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize. But once the crystallization had begun, it was almost like, how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating in some way that we can't sense. Junpei was honestly impressed. It was, in fact, a pretty interesting story. Wow, that's pretty interesting. But, what does that have to do with Ice-9? To his surprise, it was Santa, not June, who answered. What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice-9. What happened, I mean. A lot like? That would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees, man, it'd be the end of the world. Junpei felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with a proper concern. At any rate, we're not going to have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick. He was right. Junpei shivered. Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kinda at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore. Seriously. I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I freaking hate the cold. So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here. Now hold on, Santa. Iceland's actually the green one. It's Greenland that's frozen. Santa stopped off, clearly doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him. Selfish, isn't he? Thought Junpei to himself. Still, Santa was right, and it was high time they got back to their search. The story of Ice-9 had him interested, but there'd be time to think about that once they'd gotten out of the freezer. Junpei looked at June, nodded, and resumed his search of the room. Okay, let's continue trying to figure out how to get out of here. There was more stuff in here before we got off topic with the Ice-9 conversation. We've got frozen chicken. Hello there, frozen chicken. And it looks like that's everything we can grab in there. How about on the shelf? This thing's frozen solid. This pork? Yeah, seems like it. What's this thing? It looks like a tag or something. Huh, interesting. I'm gonna want to check that out, but it's in frozen pork. I don't think we're gonna be pulling it out that easy. And higher priority is getting out of here. Everything's frozen in here. It doesn't look like there's anything else interesting. Okay, so let's see. How are we gonna get out? We need to unfreeze the door. No good. I can't hit it hard enough to break it. Maybe it just needs more of a shock, you know? More of a shock. Well, we have a water bottle. We have dry ice. And we have frozen chicken, which I'm pretty sure we can use as a hammer. First up, smash the dry ice. It's all in pieces now. Then we'll take the dry ice, put it in the water bottle, and what happens when a solid becomes a gas? Typically, what happens to its volume? I'm gonna put these pieces of dry ice into the water bottle. And now we're gonna tie the rope to it. And let's just tie a rope on here. And now we have a water bottle bomb, which we can hang on the door and then get the fuck back. Let's blow this popsicle stand. Literally popsicles in here. Warm water dripped from the ruptured pipe near the door. Junpei pulled out the water bottle filled with dry ice, let a good amount of water fall in, and then quickly sealed it up tight. The makeshift bomb complete, he tied it to the doorknob as quickly as he could manage in the cold. Alright, that's set. So, what do we do now? We just need to give it a little, tap. The bottle's already about to pop. If we just throw a rock or something at it, it'll go off all on its own. Oh, right, I think if you would examine the item, Santa will actually have the idea and tell it to you. A small rock? A small rock. Junpei looked down at the floor. Scattered across it were pieces of dry ice left over from the larger chunk he'd crushed earlier. Alright, this ought to do the trick. He pulled the sleeve down over his hand to keep from getting burned and grabbed the chunk of dry ice. It was a pretty good size, about as big as a pool ball. He figured it would be just about the right size. Alright guys, stand back. Actually, we should probably hide somewhere, considering we're setting off a bomb. Both Santa and June looked at him with new concern. Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius? There isn't really anywhere big enough. Yeah, there is. Look, right here. We can hide in there. Junpei pulled open the door to the small cellar. That'll work. Come on, get inside, quick. Santa and June nodded and jumped down into the hole. Junpei quickly followed. In his hand, he could feel the chill of the frozen carbon dioxide even through his sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, and prepared to throw. Alright, here it goes. 3, 4, 5. You're counting the wrong way! Oops. That is a really sad excuse for a joke, man. Sorry, dude. Alright, for real this time. You guys ready? Yes, whenever you're ready. Just throw the damn thing. Alright, here I go. 3, 2, 1. Yeet! Junpei threw the chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. With the same motion, he ducked down into the cellar with Santa and June just as... Junpei leapt up out of the cellar and ran to the door. Junpei! The ice on the door, is it gone? Yeah, it's gone. It is gone. The blast must have shattered it. Yes, alright, let's see if it opens. Junpei grabbed the knob and pushed with all his might. Oh, thank goodness, we are out of there. The door gave way easily and all three of them tumbled out of the freezer at once. Hooray! We're out! June, relieved, collapsed onto the floor. Move! Santa shoved past Junpei and ran straight to the grill, which he immediately grabbed. Oh my god. At least Junpei's not the only one sticking his hand in fires. Ow! God damn it! Hot, 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 hot! Fuck! He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile but amusing fit of rage. But where was Lotus? It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She was sitting on the counter idly scratching her chest. Welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys. With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked toward her. What were you doing? I mean, she tried to let us out, but the door was frozen solid. It's not like she could do much. What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting. We were gonna die. Oh yeah? But you didn't, so everything worked out alright, didn't it? What the hell? Just kidding. I might not look like it, but I was really worried. Don't give me that crap. I'm telling the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too. If you died, then I'd be stuck here and I'd die too. See? I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door, but I couldn't find anything. So all I could do was wait. That's extremely fair. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops? It was true that there wasn't much she could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth. Fine, but there's one thing I have to ask you. What's that? You didn't close the door, did you? What? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too. She was right and Junpei knew it. Without them, she'd be in very serious trouble. It seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure. If Lotus had really wanted to kill them, all she would have to do was bar the door from the outside. And she hadn't. Well, she hadn't done anything. The most she was guilty of was laziness or negligence, not attempted murder. She wasn't even lazy or negligent. She didn't do anything wrong. The door was shut before anyone realized, and there wasn't anything she could do from the outside. Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you. Oh, yes, well, that's alright, as long as you understand. Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the grill complete, Santa swaggered back toward Junpei and Lotus. I hope that grill got what was coming to it. Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. Especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting on that fat ass of yours while we were freezing to death. Santa, knock it off. How rude. I was plenty busy. Yeah, how about you put all that energy into something besides bitching? Let's go. God, Santa, what the hell is your problem? Why are you like this? Honestly, Junpei too. Everyone's a dick to Lotus. Everyone is just awful to her. And yeah, she doesn't have the best attitude all the time, but... Okay, now that we're out of there, I want to see if I can get that piece of paper out of the pork. No, I want to search it. That is a frozen piece of pork. Hey, what's that? It looks like there's a piece of paper inside it. If you try to pull it out, it might tear. Maybe you can melt it if you put it on something warm. Something warm. Something warm. Oh yeah, didn't someone burn themselves on something earlier? Ah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's put something that actually can be burned safely onto the grill. Guess I'll put this meat on the grill. Hey, what are you doing? What are you gonna do if the paper burns? Come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's gonna burn right away, right? We just gotta keep an eye on it and the paper will be fine. Well, they can argue all they want. I'm gonna keep an eye on this pork. Cool, looks like it's about time. I'm gonna try taking the paper out. Junpei, be careful. It's sweet of her to care, but I know what I'm... Ouch! See? I told you. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out. I can't believe Junpei burned himself again. Oh my god. Junpei and Santa. The two fucking dumbasses here. The absolute idiots who will just stick their hand into a fire, grab a burning piece of metal. We gotta keep an eye on those two. It's not coming out. This thing's frozen stiff. I can't get it out. So are we gonna have to cut the meat? Yeah, it looks that way. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Wait, you didn't... Junpei, you didn't grab it? Alright, now that I've sharpened the knife... Yes, I cut the pork. Awesome, Junpei. Now we can cut out the paper. C plus 10 plus F. Okay, well, we know we've got hexadecimal going on here. C plus 10 plus F. And then we also saw where to put in the code. So let's see. C is 12, plus 10 is 16, plus F is 15, is going to be 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 5 is 13, 43. Do we want to convert that back to hexadecimal though? We might want to convert that back to hexadecimal. For now, let's put in 43. This is probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe if you put in the right number, it'll open the oven door. Oh, also it's decimal digits on the oven door, so we can't do hexadecimal, so it's gotta be 43. Junpei, maybe the note you found earlier? Yeah, I know. Do you know how to enter those numbers? I think E is for enter and C is for clearing. So basically, when I'm ready to submit my answer, I press E. So if I screw up, I just press C, right? Lotus nodded. Alright, let's give it a shot. Password is 43. Enter. Sounds like metal is falling. Well, I guess that went well. Now we can open the door. Yeah, the door opened. Good job, Junpei. And we get the Saturn key card. All right, and with that, we can get out of here. I will see everyone next time, as I think we're going to be regrouping with the other half of our team. I'll see everyone next time for that. Yes, I think it's unlocked now. You did it, Junpei. Let's get out of here. Yes, let's go.